Iran. The name itself is a door. For some, it opens onto a world of ancient empires, poets, and philosophers. For others, it leads into the shadow of a modern revolution. This is a journey through that door, to a land that has stood at the crossroads of East and West for millennia. The history here is not locked in museums. It lives in the poetry recited at dinner tables, in the geometry of a mosque's tilework, and in the quiet dignity of a people who have weathered invasions, revolutions, and sanctions for centuries. To understand Iran, we must first shed our modern preconceptions. This is not a monolith. It is a mosaic.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss our next upload.
Over 2,500 years ago, Cyrus the Great inscribed the first known charter of human rights on clay. For 1,000 years, the epic poem Shahnameh has preserved Persian language and identity against foreign conquerors. While empires rise and fall, culture holds Iran together. But in the 20th century, this ancient land was forced into a violent new age, an age of oil, superpowers, and a revolution that would transform it forever. Reza Shah and then his son, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, pushed brutal modernization, but their white revolution alienated the clergy and the merchants. The Shah's secret police, Savak, crushed dissent. In 1979, the impossible happened. The Shah was overthrown, not by an army, but by a populist revolution led by an elderly cleric, Ayatollah Khomeini. The hostage crisis that followed, 52 Americans held for 444 days, severed ties with the West, and defined Iran as a revolutionary, anti-Western state. Then came 8 years of war with Saddam Hussein's Iraq, a brutal conflict that cost over 500,000 lives and forged the Islamic Republic's identity as a defender of the faith. To survive, Iran retreated into its culture. Under strict censorship, artists became masters of allegory. Iranian cinema, films like Children of Heaven, used simple stories to speak profound truths. Music became a battleground. Pop is banned, but thrives underground. Classical Persian music is taught, but rarely performed in public. The public face of Iran is modesty and piety. But in private homes, a very different Iran exists, where families debate politics, listen to censored music, and celebrate life with rebellious spirit. This duality defines millions of Iranians. Since 1979, women have been legally second-class citizens. The mandatory hijab is the most visible symbol of state control. The protest movement, sparked by the death of Mahsa Amini in 2022, exploded again in late 2025. The trigger was economic collapse. The rial lost half its value, but the demand became existential. People chanted not for lower prices, but for the end of the regime itself. The government's response was brutal. The protests were contained, but they left a permanent scar. The question now is not if change will come, but what shape it will take, and at what cost. In September 2025, the world reimposed crippling sanctions. The snapback blocked banking, choked oil exports, and strangled the economy. For ordinary Iranians, sanctions mean the price of bread, the value of their savings, a generation of educated youth with no jobs. Isolated from the West, Iran projected power through proxies across the Middle East, Hezbollah in Lebanon, militias in Syria and Iraq, the Houthis in Yemen. The axis of resistance became its foreign policy. In June 2025, the shadow war with Israel burst into the open. A 12-day war saw Iran retaliate directly. Over 1,000 Iranians died. The undeclared war had become hot. The regime is caught between revolutionary ideology and the needs of 85 million people. To maintain regional influence, it needs a strong military. To pay for that, it needs an economy not suffocated by sanctions. And to survive a restless, educated population, it needs to offer a future, not just a fight. The story of Iran is not over. It is being written every day. The future is uncertain. More protests, more crackdowns, more isolation are possible. But the spirit of Iran, its poetry, its cinema, its quiet acts of defiance, has survived empires and revolutions. It will endure this chapter too, waiting for the next page to be turned. To understand Iran is to understand that its story is far more complex than the one we are often told. It is a land of poets and warriors, of beauty and hardship, of ancient glory and modern struggle. It is, and always will be, the crossroads of the world.